If you're not using mantras, you have not incorporated listening, chanting, singing, ritualizing mantras in your life, you are missing out. Mantras are the easiest way to incorporate spirituality in your life through raising your frequency. Om Shrim Shrim Lakshmi Namaha. Today's Monday and I've decided to post on Mondays videos to remind you of the importance of goddess spirituality. Before starting the video, allow me please to spray this beautiful energy perfume that I make from my collection. It is called Self-Love and I believe it is auspicious to the topic of this video. As you know, when you apply my energy perfumes, you always start with that point at the bottom of your skull. This is a very, very, very important portal on your body. Don't ever apply any type of chemical perfume right there. And if you encounter anything with an occultist or a spiritual or a witch, never let them touch you here. Let's talk about Lakshmi, how it links to her mantra, and how reconnecting or connecting with her if you didn't know her before is actually one of the ways in which you can live the life as a thriving, joyful, sexy, spiritual. I love sharing this content, so click on the like button, you subscribe to my channel. If you like what I'm talking about so far, show me back some love, comment below, do something. Habibi, come to Geneva. I had that in my mind because of Habibi, come to Dubai.
Habibi, come to Dubai.
I will be in Geneva on the 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th of April. In order for me to package, do all of that work so that you get your stuff, you need to order a set. Actually, as a matter of time, order today. I've put some posts on YouTube and on Instagram, so go check them out to have the details. If you live in Geneva, I know that I have a lot of viewers. I've had quite a few numbers of customers ordering from Switzerland. Even if you live, I don't know, in the United States, anywhere else in Europe or whatever, get on that plane and come and meet me and get your potions. It's a good time here in Europe. It's springtime, the weather is gorgeous. You can go to Geneva, spend a day, I don't know, in Zurich, go in the countryside. It's a beautiful, beautiful country. This is an opportunity because when you order, you don't have to wait the 6 to 8 weeks. Just come and pick up your order. Whenever you order, in any case, now that we have all of the dates set up, we will tell you where you can come and pick up your order. You get an email, your time slot is from this time to this time. You will meet me. You come and pick it up, we chit chat a little bit, you get your package. Okay, so first, I'm going to give you a little anecdote, my own personal anecdote about my encounter with Lakshmi, which you will find surprising. And then I'm going to dive deep into who Lakshmi is and why you should start honoring this deity, how to do it in the most minimal way, which is by reciting, singing, chanting, or incorporating her mantras into your daily life. So my first encounter with Lakshmi was actually through my governess. I think that's what it's called in English. Basically, in the way I was raised in my house, we had one person taking care of one child. We had the chef during the day and the chef at night. My family entertained quite a lot. So I had my own, you could call her a babysitter or a nanny, but she was a living life manager. Early on, we started having very deep conversation, even though I was quite little, and she stayed with our family probably until I turned like 15 or 16, something like that. And she was also initiated in her village. At that time, of course, I was too little to be initiated in anything, even though I had grown up in that setting, in the temples, and I saw, I mean, this was my life. I was already in it. I saw my first goddess when I was about 6 years old. So for me, the spiritual world and the real world were just intertwined. So I was already doing divination, telling people their life story, giving them advice, telling them that they were going to get sick, things like that, from actually being little. She basically told me that that she knew that I had special abilities. And I was like, what do you mean special? She was like, yeah, I know, because I see the entities around you. So we had these types of conversation, and she was like, do you want to know my deity? Because she was like, I've seen yours. And I was like, okay. So she explained to me how to do a little ritual. We did a little ritual together, and we went to sleep at the same time. She had a bed in my room. We slept in the same room. In the morning, we woke up and she was like, okay, what did you see? What happened? And I was like, this is what I saw, this and this and that. I saw this Indian lady. I knew she was Indian because even though I grew up in Africa, one of my aunts was and still is married to an Indian man from Pondicherry. So he's my uncle, and they have a restaurant called Shalimar. And also, I had seen a lot of Indian movies just because we see a lot of Indian movies back home. I told her I saw this Indian lady. She looked like a princess, and she was dancing on TV because I had a TV in my room. And at some point, she was dancing, and then she came out of the screen and she started dancing here inside of our bedroom. She was like, okay, I didn't realize you're really, really good, because no one would ever imagine that a black woman would have as a double, as a goddess, an Indian woman, right? Or an Indian deity, sorry. So I didn't know the name Lakshmi pertaining to a goddess. Fast forward to a few years later, I didn't know it was going to happen. My great-grandmother had just died. I was living in the United States at that time. I was desperate. I was alone. I couldn't go back home because I had decided to move to the United States at 17 on my own against my family's will. I wanted to step away from being in that sort of aquarium life where everyone knew who I was, and I felt like I was not free. Otherwise, I would have gone to Paris, to La Sorbonne, in the school that was attributed to me, because I wanted to do political science. My father is of the diplomat's family. My great-grandfather, the father of my father's father, was already an ambassador. So my life was already sort of weaved for me, and I felt like it was not my calling. So I went as far as possible, and the United States was as far as possible. So I was by myself. My family wasn't helping me financially because I had decided to be there. My family told me, my mom specifically told me, if you go there, that's it. We're not sending you money. And they gave me some money to settle, to travel and all of that, but that money didn't last. I had to get a few jobs and whatever to pay for my school and things like that. So I was by myself, and I felt that disconnect when my great-grandmother died. I literally felt like I had died myself. This connection was so strong for me that I felt like, who am I without her in my life? One thing led to another. This was my first initiation, official initiation outside of my country. It was in a Lakshmi Hindu temple. Past the details, Lakshmi literally saved my life. I was sick. I have 2 autoimmune diseases. Quite a few times I had to go through radiotherapy, surgeries, different treatments that weakened my system, and I just felt like life was just being sucked out of me. It is through my Lakshmi initiation that I was named Pravala. Pravala being one of Lakshmi's avatar. What is an avatar? An avatar is basically you as you're living your life now, except that you're not in your goddess embodiment. So people, if you don't wake up, people won't remember, even people around you. You won't be like a real ancestor because you don't even have powers in this life. You need to get it together. Pravala is one of Lakshmi's incarnation. What does that mean? It's just like me also. I am a goddess incarnate. I know it. I've known it for as long as I live. I have seen my goddess. Other people, even other healers, many have confirmed it to me. Many have been afraid to help me and worked on me because they said that they were used to dealing with regular people. Other people have tried to take advantage of me to grab some powers from me. So it works actually both ways. But as a goddess incarnate, what do? I incarnate through this body because a goddess is a multidimensional being that we know already that can exist in many different dimensions. As I'm incarnating here, I have the choice to live in fear, to believe in my circumstances and and live basically as a slave in this life, or to awaken as my true nature. Whatever your nature is, my nature happens to be goddess because I belong to this particular family. It doesn't mean that goddess as a status is better or lower than another one. Every status, every living divinity is important in their own right. As I am born here as my name, Akerogale, you can say that Akerogale is my avatar, the avatar of my goddess, who has another name which I will not say here. So it's the same thing. Pravala is the name of the avatar of goddess Lakshmi. This name, that I received through initiation and the permission to say it out loud saved my life. I've gotten so much success through having activated this name, Pravala, through all of the rituals that I continue to do to empower that name, Pravala, to fully activate it through all of the magical power of my original goddess, so that those powers are translated here in the 3D. But Lakshmi truly saved my life. Lakshmi is one of the Hindu goddesses who belong to the Indian pantheon, the ancient ancestral Hindu spirituality. She is the goddess associated with beauty. Most people who live in scarcity, material, poverty, and all that, they call on her for money, wealth, abundance. But also, and the thing that most people forget is that Lakshmi, if you see illustrations of her or statues of her, or you go to a Lakshmi temple, or if you ever meet her in your astral traveling and transcendental voyage, you will notice that she has 4 hands, right? And one of the hands actually has coins falling, the ever-flowing money that she grants you. Lakshmi is a water goddess. All of us water goddesses give you 3 things. Beauty in sort of the eternal youth, in spirit and in physical. And you would see that a lot of women who are sweet water spirits or goddesses, daughters of water spirits, you will notice that all of us, we don't sit well with the idea of looking old. So it's eternal beauty, but with that aspect of youth. Some other deities would have beauty that is more imperial, or beauty that is intimidating, etc. For us, it's always the aspect of youthful or eternal youth, through the joy, through the laughter, through loving the good life, material wealth, money and fortune, lucky money that stays, that builds itself up, that makes you live in wealth. And the component that most people don't like to hear is auspiciousness. Auspiciousness includes what you would see on the second hand of Lakshmi, which is tied to dharma, life purpose, spiritual awakening. You have to have both. Lakshmi doesn't give you one or the other, because Lakshmi operates through transformation vibrationally. It's your frequency that gets higher and higher and higher. Lakshmi is not for instant wealth. It's not overnight success. It's success that makes you happy, that keeps you grounded, and that is tied to your life purpose. Your life purpose is your contribution as a pillar of light to bring beauty, joy, pleasure to this dense, evil-led, need-based world. So Lakshmi, through this mantra, Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha, which is the mantra that I created, the first mantra, you remember? The first mantra that I filmed when I was traveling, I was in the hotel, I remember. I was like, okay, I just created the song. I went to the studio for the first time in my life. I sang the song. I stayed in the studio. I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? And the tune, she gave me the tune and she was like, this is it. This is what it sounds like. I was in trance. It wasn't me. It was led by spirit. And I remember when I released it, I was like, I put the music. I was sitting on the bed of my hotel. I sang the song like a music video. And this is the way I introduced my Lakshmi prosperity mantra to you. And after that, I released the bed mantra with the other deities who have shaped my spiritual life. You must incorporate chanting mantras, not for the sake of getting something, but for the sake of feeling good and being happy. The rest comes. Don't try to exploit a deity. They hate that. Lakshmi hates that. If you sing in joy, if you listen to it, you binge on it, if you incorporate it when you do your ritual, say you're doing a spell, you're doing a meditation and all of that, you're applying your perfume, you listen and you sing along to the mantra, you dance to the mantra, you live it the same way I see so many girls and women binge and memorize songs that are filled with discussing frequencies, subliminal messages, sometimes even evil spirits siphoning your energy, yet you're listening to the songs. You know who the celebrities are, who they're dating, what they're wearing, and all of that stuff, that gaze that is outside of you, when you should be working on you becoming at least the celebrity of your life. At least. Lakshmi has a husband, a consort, whose name is Vishnu. Vishnu is part of the three main gods of the Hindu pantheon. So you have this Hindu Trimurti of Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the protector, and Shiva, the transformer, also known as the destroyer. He also has had incarnations. One of his incarnations was as Lord Rama. Do you remember in my Bed Mantra album, the Rama mantra that makes you irresistible to men? Om Ram Ravitaye Namaha. Om Ravitaye Namaha. Rama, he was like Cupid. He would shoot arrows to two people and they will live happily ever after. Rama, to be the avatar of Vishnu, consort of Lakshmi, goddess of beauty and wealth. He protects the feminine, but he also ensures the feminine is always at her most irresistible, so that she is a magnet to love. But also, when you speak about irresistibility, you think about magnetism, sexiness, audacity, feeling good in the physical body in which you're incarnated, because that is what it is, an avatar. An avatar is like when I see my daughter's friends and they play Sims or like, we are characters, and the puppet masters should be our own original goddess. The problem is we are disconnected from our divinity and we are puppets of handlers, groomers, evil forces who enter our systems through karma, through all of the curses we inherited, through our polluted, corrupted bloodline, but also through our own stupid addictions. Cigarettes, alcohol, sugar, drugs, video games, gossip, any type of media. And now people have short attention span, so now we're like onto short content, binging and having our energy siphoned. If you just look at your life, look at your day, the way you wake up, your thoughts, how you eat, what you wear as clothes, the reason why you wear the clothes, the activities you do throughout the day, what you listen to, the conversations you partake in, the things you acknowledge. It doesn't matter where you are. If you embody the goddess, whatever circumstance you're living is just temporary. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Mondays now, stay tuned. We're going to speak about deities and goddess spirituality. If you like the video, show me some love in the comment section. I love you and I see you in my next video. Manifest lavish, imperial opulence.